You're listening to GWP Live Severe Weather Coverage. It is Monday morning, 7:40 a.m. Central Daylight Time, and we are still tracking some of the ongoing severe storms across the region. So let's go ahead and show you what we are dealing with. We just had a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for our far northern counties here. We are also watching a tornado warned storm just to the south of Moberly as well. And so that's kind of what we're looking at here. We'll just give you kind of a brief description on a few of these new warnings that have been issued. The tornado warning remains in effect until until 8 o'clock across Randolph and Howard counties. Radar indicated rotation. We've been tracking that here on the velocity. And then now, just to the east of there, we have a downstream severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Adrian, Boone and Shelby and Monroe counties until 8:30 a.m. And so we're looking at 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. There is also a tornado possible tag with this easternmost severe thunderstorm warning that we are looking at here. And here's the description. At 7:35 a.m. Central Daylight Time, severe thunderstorms were located along a line from 10 miles southwest of Clarence to 9 miles northwest of Rocheport, along a line 18 miles to the west of Shelbania and 21 miles west of Columbia, moving east to 50 miles per hour. Hazards include 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. We're looking at hail damage to vehicles as expected, wind damage to roofs, wind damage to roof sidings and trees will be possible within this area. We're looking at Harrisburg, Clarence, Madison, Woodlawn, Sturgeon, Holiday, Centralia, Paris, as well as Stoutsville and Thompson, Santa Fe, Mexico, and Monroe City. Those areas are now under a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:30 a.m. But again, there is also a tornado possible tag within that severe thunderstorm warning. So let's go ahead and show you the velocities. So we do still have some rotation right in there, as you'll notice, just to the southwest of Madison. So a little bit of rotation still there. So it's very well possible that this tornado warning gets extended. The previous tornado warning went until 8 o'clock for Randolph and Howard counties. That one is still in effect, but now we've seen an extension for the severe thunderstorm warning because regardless, we've got some very strong winds here that are going to be on that leading edge moving into Sturgeon. It will be moving into Centralia. Paris is also in line, Paris, Missouri, in line for this storm as well. So really anywhere along US 63 is currently experiencing kind of the brunt of this storm. So now it's moving east of US 63, and then we've got US 24, or US 30, or US 24 was back there, but we've got US 36 as well. So again, several different major highways getting involved here with this storm. And so again, there's a little bit of rotation to the southwest side of Madison. That's where we have that tornado warning. And then we're looking at some straight line wind damage regardless along this line. This is moving towards Centralia, Mexico, and Paris, Missouri. This warning does include northern Boone County, but it does not include Columbia, Missouri. So that, of course, the good news for that location where I'm at here, currently no warning, but again, some very strong winds in Sturgeon and as well as into Harrisburg, just to the north of Columbia, likely going to see some very strong winds with this storm. So severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect, as well as that tornado warning remains in effect across that area as well. So this is all part of a larger area that is still under a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 a.m. as this morning round of thunderstorms continues to produce the risk of some strong winds and a few isolated tornadoes will be possible. This is still not our highest tornado risk. Our highest risk for severe weather will be later this afternoon, particularly starting around 2 p.m. and going till around 6 p.m. So from 2 to 6 p.m., our northeastern counties are going to be at risk for some severe thunderstorms. But again, we are still dealing with this, I guess you could say, this first batch of thunderstorms this morning that we're going to be dealing with across the area. So let's go ahead and I'm going to see if we have any storm reports that have came in from the Storm Prediction Center from this storm. And so let's see. We had a wind report. We had several power poles down in Slater, Missouri. That was in Saline County. So again, around the Slater area. Not exactly quite sure exactly where that report was, but again, around the Slater area, there was some wind damage. Some power lines were down across that area. The good news is we don't have any reports of a tornado. So nothing confirmed at this point in time. So that's good, but still something we need to watch out for very closely. Let's see, in Macon County, we had some hail reports. So that was something that we had earlier. We had some wind reports as well. So again, we've had a few reports of some strong winds around Jackson County. There was a tree across the roadway. Around Prairie Hill, there was some limbs down as well. Clay County had a 66-mile-per-hour wind gust. So yeah, so we've definitely had some pretty strong winds, and a few damage reports have come out so far across central Missouri. So we've certainly seen the impacts from this storm here within the last couple of hours, again, with these continuing storms to move through the area. All right, let's see where we're at on our storm here. So, again, a little bit of rotation still on the southwest side of Madison. We are still waiting to see whether or not the warning is extended. Realistically, that tornadic rotation has now moved out of the area that was under the tornado warning. And so that, of course, is really good news. But still watching for some very strong winds here across Madison into Sturgeon, Centralia, also getting involved in this. And then this will even start to move in across northern Boone County as well, as we mentioned. So Boone County getting impacted by this, at least on the northern end of that. Again, anywhere within this severe thunderstorm warning, there is going to be a tornado possible. And so that is why it wouldn't be the worst idea to go ahead and take shelter like you would for a tornado. Because again, we do have some rotation on the south side of Madison, but regardless, very strong straight line winds expected moving into Sturgeon, Centralia. You are going to be next in line. Beyond that, we're looking at Mexico. US 54 is also included in this around the Mexico area. And so that is an area that you will want to take shelter because, again, some very strong winds and large hail is going to be possible with this storm here. So if we go back over to the velocity mode, what are we watching at this time? Well, again, we're watching for some straight line winds, but we're also looking at some broad rotation around the Madison area. So again, this is Madison, Missouri, looking at some rotation. We're under that severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, I just got some new information. The Randolph Howard County tornado warning has now been has now expired. So Howard and Randolph counties, let's go ahead and highlight that area for you. So here's Howard and Randolph counties, south of Moberly. Tornado warning has just expired for your area, but we do still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Howard and Macon counties, in Randolph counties as well. So Randolph, Howard, and Macon counties under a severe thunderstorm warning until the top of the hour, till 8 a.m., 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, quarter-size hail. There is a tornado possible tag with that severe thunderstorm warning. And then now we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Audrin, Boone, Monroe, and Shelby counties until 8:30 a.m. Also, we just had an observed tag added to this severe thunderstorm warning as 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts were confirmed with this storm. An automated weather station reported a 62-mile-per-hour wind gust at Moberly. So there's Moberly. It appears just a few minutes ago, around 7:40, we had a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust reported. So there's some of that straight line winds. Now we have it confirmed. So confirmed 60-mile-per-hour winds. We also still have a hail threat, although that has not been, we do have a hail threat, although that hasn't been confirmed. So again, 60-mile-per-hour straight line winds have now been confirmed. So again, we have an observed tag for Audrin, Boone, Monroe, and Shelby counties where we are looking at the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. Again, there's also a tornado possible tag as we do have a little bit of rotation just to the southwest of the Madison area. So that is something that we will continue to track very closely. Regardless, though, we are looking at some very strong winds in association here with this storm here. So again, even though that tornado warning has expired, we're still looking at the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds. We already had a recorded wind gust of around 62 miles per hour there in the Moberly area. So again, tornado possible tag with these storms as well that include the area of Madison, Centralia, Sturgeon, also into Paris in Missouri, Mexico, and Thompson, also under this warning there in central Missouri. We will now move into a brief intermission. We will return very soon. And we are back here. This is GWP Live's ongoing severe weather coverage. It is now about 7:54 on this Monday morning, and we are tracking some ongoing storms across the region, including a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag just to the north of Interstate 70, north of where I'm at here in Columbia. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that we're still tracking for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and again, a tornado possible tag within this warning. Here's the latest on the warning. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for Audrin, Boone, Monroe and Shelby counties until 8:30 a.m. The latest was at 7:44 a.m. A severe thunderstorm was located along a line moving from near Roachport along a line from 12 miles west of Shelbania or 15 miles northwest of Columbia, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Hazards include 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. We do have this has been confirmed by an automated weather station at 7:40 a.m. in Moberly. A 62-mile-per-hour wind gust was reported there at that automated station. Hail damage to vehicles is expected. We're also looking at wind damage to roofs, sidings, and trees. Locations impacted include Harrisburg, Clarence, Madison, Woodlawn, Sturgeon, Holiday, Granville, Centralia, Hallsville, Stoutsville, Thompson, as well as Monroe City. Those areas still under a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag that remains in effect until 8:30 a.m. And so let's go ahead and get the latest on this storm, see if we have an area. And so again, still a broad area of rotation around Paris, but not something that looks super strong at this point. Really, our main concern is going to be those straight line winds right in here on that storm. That is something we're going to be watching. Again, it was already confirmed by that automated weather station right along here, extending to just north of Columbia along US 63. So that's something we're going to be watching very closely. Not anything too strong right now in Columbia. We do have some thunderstorms that are about to roll through the area, but again, none of these are severe warned at this time. But again, some heavy showers and storms moving through Sedalia. We've got Boonville. These are all just thunderstorms. So again, nothing too concerning right now. We do still have some flash flood warnings across the Kansas City area, so we are still tracking that this morning. Let's see, Kansas City, we have an observed tag on that flash flood warning. That remains in effect for Johnson County and Wyandotte County in Kansas, and then Clay, Jackson, and Plate counties in Missouri till 10 a.m. Again, multiple reports of flooding in the Kansas City metro area. So if you are hitting the rush hour traffic there in Kansas City, you might also be hitting some roadways with water on them. And so you'll want to make sure to take that very seriously. We also have a flash flood warning for Bates, Cass, Henry, Jackson, Johnson, and Lafayette counties. That remains in effect until 12 p.m. So also watching that. That's this flash flood warning right here. That includes Harrisonville. We've got Pleasant Hill. We've got Warrensburg under this warning. Archie under this as well. We also get into Raymore. So again, lots of different areas to the south of Kansas City. That flash flood warning goes until lunchtime, noon 12 o'clock. And then we have another flash flood warning for Pettis, Saline, Carroll, Chariton, Jackson, Clay, Johnson, Ray, and Lafayette counties. Radar indicated threat until 12 o'clock. So again, the warning in Kansas City goes until 10 a.m. The flash flood warnings, the one to the south and the one to the east of Kansas City, those remain in effect until 12 p.m. And again, overall, there is still a severe thunderstorm watch that remains in effect across this entire region until 10 a.m. So severe thunderstorm watch till 10 a.m. as these morning thunderstorms will continue to roll through the area. Just as a reminder, once these thunderstorms pass through your area, the severe weather threat is not completely over because then we're going to be watching for additional thunderstorms this afternoon and evening, particularly across central and eastern Missouri. That's where we're going to have the highest severe weather potential as we go into this afternoon. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted that area of concern for this afternoon. In fact, okay, we just had some new information come into us from the Storm Prediction Center. They have now increased the severe weather risk for today. We now have a moderate severe weather risk across eastern Missouri and southwestern Illinois. So southwestern Illinois and southeastern Missouri is now under a moderate risk for severe weather. This is now a level 4 out of 5 on that severe weather scale. We also, for our central and eastern counties, have an enhanced risk. That includes Springfield, Jefferson City, Lake of the Ozarks, and Columbia under that enhanced risk for severe weather. That's a 3 out of 5. But now St. Louis, St. Louis, Missouri, you are now under that moderate risk for severe weather for today. That is a 4 out of 5 on that severe weather scale. So let's go ahead. This is the newest outlook issued by the Storm Prediction Center as of 8 a.m. So again, right now they issued their day one, their Monday severe weather outlook. This is valid from right now until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, although our severe weather threat will be over well before then here in the state of Missouri. Let's look at our tornado risk. Wow. So, yeah, that tornado risk has increased even more so in the state of Missouri, as now we have that red. So, that indicates we're in that 15% category. If we look here on that legend, we are also under that level 2 intensity across the area. And that does include Columbia, Missouri. So, Columbia and Jefferson City, you are under that risk of EF3 tornadoes. Just to the east of Columbia and St. Louis, we have a risk for tornadoes that is in that 15% category. So tornado risk has increased quite a bit here for this afternoon across Missouri. We've got that wind risk for us as well. We're in that 45% category across St. Louis. And then hail is going to be another concern. So that tornado risk has increased, and so that has caused that has caused the Storm Prediction Center to increase that tornado threat or the severe threat overall across the state of Missouri. So now we have a moderate severe weather risk for today in eastern Missouri. That is a level 4 out of 5 on the SPC's severe weather scale. So again, this is for later this afternoon, but it also does include those storms that we're dealing with right now across the area. Let's see if there's any mesoscale discussions. Okay, we do have a mesoscale discussion across eastern Missouri. Peak winds of up to 80 miles per hour, weak tornadoes, and golf ball size hail. So this basically says that we have elevated storms moving into central and eastern Missouri. It's an area that we need to watch over the next several hours across central and eastern Missouri and also into southwestern Illinois. Well, it is now just past the top of the hour. You are listening to GWP Live's ongoing severe weather coverage across the state of Missouri. It is now 8:02 a.m. Again, it is Monday, April 27th, 2026. For some people, they might remember that this is a very big day in the weather world of things. Back in just 15 years ago, on this very day, we had one of the largest severe weather outbreaks in history here in the United States. There was a level 5 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center. It was the highest tornado risk that the Storm Prediction Center has ever issued in the 21st century. That was just 15 years ago on this very day. And so that, of course, a very significant day in history for us here. When it comes to severe weather. So again, that was 15 years ago. It was April 27th, 2011. Some called it the super tornado outbreak. It was one of the most destructive and deadly days that we've ever seen in severe weather. Luckily, we're not expecting that for today, but still a pretty decent risk for severe weather, even if we don't have as high of a risk as we had back on that day. And just one moment here. Got Wow, yes, I my attention briefly was stolen for just a moment as we have so we have some very intense thunderstorms that are moving in here to Columbia. The clouds are looking very low and ominous here in Columbia, Missouri. So just wanted to go ahead and update you on that. Let me see here. I just want to check velocity because we are looking at some very low clouds right now. Let's go ahead and get kind of a closer look at this. This is a little bit, we might have a little bit of rotation on the north side of Columbia. I don't think there is where I'm at right now, but we have some very ominous looking clouds right now at this point right now. So again, I feel like there's a little bit of possible rotation there. We'll have to watch that closely on the north side of Columbia, just north of Interstate 70. So we need to watch that very closely. Also, I want to update you on a new tornado warning that was issued just a few moments ago. This goes in effect for Rails, I think, Rails and Monroe counties until 8:40 or 8:45 a.m. At 7:54 a.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Paris, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Locations impacted include Paris, Stoutsville, Florida, Indian Creek, Perry, Center, and the Landing. This also includes a Union Covered Bridge Historic State Park and Mark Twain Lake recreational area. So again, radar indicated threat, tornado warning until 8:45 across Rawls and into we've also got Monroe counties under that tornado warning. We'll go ahead and we'll look at the velocities. Regardless, we're looking at some very strong winds, but a little bit of rotation just to the east of Paris, just to the southwest of Stoutsville. So that is what we're dealing with. And again, some very ominous looking clouds here, and the winds have also picked up quite a bit here in the last few minutes here in Columbia. And so that is,
A new station alert has arrived.
yes, it has. Um, so yes, that's what we're looking at right now. So some pretty strong, well, I wouldn't, okay, not too strong, just a little bit windy out there right now. So nothing too significant here in Columbia. The worst of the storms appear to be to our north, where we have that wind risk, again, within that Boeing segment right along here. Very strong winds going to be possible in Thompson. You're next in line. Mexico. Also, Perry is going to be in line as well. Again, we've got some rotation just to the southwest of the Stoutsville area. So we've got tornado possible within that warning. So take shelter immediately in a tornado safe place if you are in Monroe or Rawls County, as a radar indicated threat has been indicated 6 miles east of Paris, which again is right in this area. That's where we're looking at a possible tornado. So tornado warning remains in effect for that area until 8:45. There's also still a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect for Audrin, Boone, as well as Monroe and Shelby counties in Missouri until 8:30 a.m. for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. And as we mentioned, there is a tornado possible tag with that storm. There's been a few areas of rotation that we've been watching here, like we had one briefly just to the south of Centralia. There was also one on the north side of Columbia along US 63, but again, nothing too significant at this time. The main area of concern is just to the southwest of Stoutsville rather, where we do have that tornado warning. So that's the main area of rotation that we're concerned about right now across the area. Again, we're still dealing with some pretty strong storms just to the west of Columbia around Boonville right now. None of these are severe warned. Also, some heavy showers and storms across Sedalia. Warrensburg, the rain is beginning to lighten up across that area, so that's good. Nevada, you are still dry, but the storms are ongoing to your north, and so we're watching those across Butler. Again, all of these are non-severe warned across northwestern Missouri, so this is good news. But we are still tracking that ongoing flooding across the Kansas City area with some of these training thunderstorms that have produced several inches of rainfall across this area. All right, we are now going to go into a brief intermission. We will be right back here. This is GWP Live's ongoing severe weather coverage. And we are back here on GWP Live's ongoing severe weather coverage here. It is Monday, April 27th, 2026. It is now about 8:13 a.m., and we are still tracking some ongoing severe storms across the region. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning that does remain for a few of our counties. That includes we've got Audrin, Boone, Monroe, and Shelby counties under a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:30. But there's also a tornado possible tag within this storm. And then on the northern end of that, we do actually have an active tornado warning that remains in effect for Rails and as well as into Monroe counties until 8:45, where there was a radar indicated rotation. And so let's go ahead and show you the radar here because we've also got some other storms around Sedalia. So those are pretty strong. None of these are severe across this area. So that's really good news. Again, we are getting some pretty strong storms here across the area, but none of these are severe. So that is the positive as again, heavy rain, showers, thunderstorms, maybe a few gusty winds can't be ruled out, but at least we're not dealing with anything like hail or wind or, anything too significant across that area. So let's go ahead and show you the latest on a few of these warnings here. We'll start with the tornado warning, kind of the highest importance right now. So, yeah, it looks like that we do still have some rotation on south of Highway 36, south of Monroe City. So a little bit of rotation. So that is why we're still under a tornado warning until 8:45 a.m. for radar indicated threats. So still watching that very closely in that area. Regardless, we are dealing with some very strong straight line winds possible. And so that, of course, is why we do have that severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect until 8:30. Also, it appears that we just had an extension on that severe thunderstorm warning. So let's go ahead and get the latest on the new warning. This has now been extended into far northeastern Missouri and even into western Illinois. So let's go ahead and look at this here. Severe thunderstorm warning issued for Calhoun and Adams County and Pike counties in Illinois. Audrain, Lincoln, Marion, Pike, and Rales County in Missouri until 9:15. So now the warning is even extending into the western part of Illinois. This goes until 9:15 a.m. At 8:10 a.m., severe thunderstorms were located along a line from near Warren to near Mexico, or along a line from 6 miles north of Monroe City to near Mexico, moving east at 60 miles per hour. So these storms are really booking it now. We are looking at hazards include 70-mile-per-hour winds, so the wind threat has gone up just a little bit, and we're looking at quarter-size hail. So 70-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. There is a considerable threat tag with this severe thunderstorm warning. There is also a tornado possible tag with this storm, so you may want to take shelter if you are in these areas. So again, 70-mile-per-hour winds are going to be possible within this area under that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning goes now in effect until 9:15. So for about an hour, it's across a pretty large area and it does cross over into the state of Illinois. So if we look here at the radar picture, so again, it's this Boeing segment, this leading edge, and then within that, we do have a little bit of rotation on the northern side of Mexico. That's where we have that tornado warning. As far as our viewing area goes, again, still under that severe thunderstorm warning. We've been watching this closely to see if there's been any rotation. Nothing too strong showing up there right now on the velocities, but either way, some very heavy rainfall around the Centralia area with possibly some large hail as well. And so that's why this area is still under a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:30 a.m. And again, looking at some 60-mile-per-hour winds on the southern side of this, but now further to our northeast, we have 70-mile-per-hour winds and a tornado possible with that storm. So, based on what we're looking at, storms have now, the ones that are severe warned are now out of the area. And so, for that reason, we will go ahead and we will end the live stream. If necessary, we will pick this live stream back up. This, of course, has been GWP Live. Thanks for tuning in. We'll continue to update you if needed.